So I recently received an email from one of our members basically asking me the question of, what's the easiest way to trade? What's the most stress-free way to trade? Because they've been in the markets for a couple of years now. They've tried a few different things. They've tried one or two of our systems. They've tried other systems, and they're basically going around in this circle. The circle that lots of struggling traders go through, where you find a system, you do a bit of testing, it seems okay, and then you put it live, you take a few losing trades, and then obviously something goes wrong, and you decide that it's not for you, so you throw it in the bin and you look for another system, and you go through that same cycle, and it's an ongoing cycle where you get a little bit of success. So you might take two steps forward, one step back, one step forward, two steps back, and you're kind of constantly treading water. So you may not be losing a great deal of money, but you're not really making that progress either. So they asked me, out of all of the systems that we deliver for them, what is the best one? What is the one system that is going to be, the least stressful for them to trade and allow them to actually make money? And the answer to that is twofold. First of all, there isn't any one great system that's perfect for one particular person. So, what works for one person might not work for the other. For example, my brother and I are quite different in the way that we trade, or the way that we prefer to trade, shall I say, because we both manage the same portfolio and trade our systems. But ultimately, my brother prefers a much more longer term approach. He likes to know what's going on fundamentally. He likes to put together the big story, if you like, and basically put together all of the pieces of the puzzle and see where it's going, and then take his trading decisions based on that. Whereas I'm someone that I prefer the charts, if I'm completely honest. I prefer looking at the charts technically, and I like patterns. I think that if they've occurred once in the past, they've got a pretty good chance of occurring again in the future. So, my brother and I, same parents, same upbringing, but both quite fundamentally different in terms of the way that we sort of seem to gravitate towards in terms of our trading. Now, as I said, over time, we've been trading for nearly a decade now, or over a decade even. So over time, we've sort of got the best of both worlds, and now we have quite a nice, healthy balance. But if we didn't trade together, I could quite easily see that we would have gone in two completely different directions and never really entertained either one's approach to the market. So I would be, purely technical, purely looking at charts, much more shorter term in nature, and he would be looking at things longer term and probably really wouldn't take the charts into account. Because we work together, obviously, as I said, we kind of get the best of both worlds there. But as I said, from a personality perspective, we gravitate towards one or the other. So the point really is that when you're starting off to trade, all right, there's no point in trying to trade a system that you think makes the most money, for example. So you've seen it on a forum somewhere and you see that all of these people are making money. And let's say, for example, that's a day trading system, okay? But you have a full-time job. So with the best will in the world, it's one, you don't have the time to trade that trading system, okay? And two, that might not even be the right system for you anyway. You might be someone that's more like my brother, that wants to take a longer term approach to the market. So trying to judge a trading system just purely based on the results probably isn't going to work for you. Now, I did a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and I basically said that if you were to give me a series of 5 random trading systems from one of the forums, like Forex Factory or Elite Trader, one of those forums out there, if you were to give me five random trading systems, I'm pretty sure that I could make money with 2 or 3 of them, okay? And what I'm trying to say by that is that a lot of the systems out there, they probably aren't, they aren't the crap that you think they are, just because maybe you haven't got on with it or something like that. What you need to do is you need to find a system that's right for you, okay? You need to find a strategy that's right for you. And once you've done that, then work on perfecting that strategy. And once you've perfected that strategy, where you want to be ultimately, so coming full circle to where we started this video here, where you want to be ultimately is trading a portfolio of different strategies of different instruments, because that's the way that you're going to have a smoother equity curve, okay? and you're going to have a much less stressful trading experience, if you like, because if you trade a portfolio, and that's what we do, right? So we apportion some of our money to day trading, which I kind of manage the majority of that, trading the DAX and things like that. We have a portion of our money that goes towards FX, so things like the Forex Power Play that we teach you, we put some of our money towards there. And then we also have a significant portion of our money in equities, where we're looking at trading longer term views, trading a balanced long-short portfolio. So as you can see, ultimately, we're trading a number of different strategies on a number of different instruments. And what that ultimately means is that if any one of those approaches were to hit a bad patch, and let's be honest, we all hit bad patches. All of the systems will hit a bad patch at one time or another. That doesn't adversely affect the entire portfolio, because we've got a number of different positions on a number of different strategies. And they're not all correlated. So if one isn't making a great deal of money, then the other one may be making a lot of money, and that can kind of balance it out and maybe push it in the positive direction. In the unlikely event that they all lose us money, that's just kind of hard luck, isn't it? But more often than not, or 99.999% of the time, even if one system's not making money, some of the others will be making money, and ultimately that allows us to have a very consistent and smooth equity curve. Okay, and that's what you want as a trader, because if you're trading one system, right, just the one system, and don't get me wrong, you need to learn to trade one system initially, right, because you need to kind of hone your skills as a trader and see what profits ultimately are. And you can't take on too much. If you try and trade many different systems all at once, then you won't really learn any one system properly. And what you'll be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So you do need to learn a system, get that profitable, and then add another one, and then add another one. But if for the rest of your trading career you just trade the one system, right, then you go through a bad patch, what you're doing is you're opening yourself up to all of these psychological issues that traders face. Everybody faces it, whether people like it or not. As traders, we're human beings. So, I'm happy when I make money on a trade. I'm a little bit frustrated when I lose money on a trade. That's just the way life is. But if you start looking at things from a portfolio perspective, all right, so you don't sit there and say, well, I'm just going to look at this one trade in isolation, and if this one trade doesn't make me money, then I need to go to the next trade, all right, and then the next trade, and you only ever got one position on. You're focusing all of your energy into that one position, which isn't healthy, from a mental perspective and also from the management of your trade. Because if you're focusing all of your energy in that one position, you're going to be much more likely, much more likely to interfere with that trade, because you've got nothing else to look at, nothing else to focus on. Whereas if that trade is just one of a big portfolio of different trades, then you're going to be less likely to find yourself in that position. For example, at the moment, I've got on, I think it's about 9 or 10 FX trades at the moment. All of them are longer term right now. I haven't seen anything too short term in the markets, from a day trading perspective. All of them looking at the next few days or few weeks. But as I said, I've got sort of 9 or 10 trades on at the moment. Some of them are out of the money. Some of them are hovering around break even, and some of them are doing very, very well. That at the moment, I think I'm up a couple of hundred pips on all of the trades put together, even though some are losing me money. And that's really the point. I don't care what the outcome is of one particular trade. I'm focused on managing the portfolios, and that's where you want to get to eventually. I know that's not something that's going to come overnight. You need to find your feet with one strategy first of all, learn it, become proficient with that, and then start adding other strategies to your belt. And that's how you're going to take things on to the next level. All right? So that sort of that wraps up why I put together this video here. As I said, I've got an email from a member asking me the best approach to trading, or the least stressful approach to trading. And to be honest, I get quite a few emails like this day in, day out. So I thought I'd put together a video just to answer that question. And I hope that went some way towards showing you what you need to do and where you need to be eventually.